Okay, so continuing on Friday, the 17th, on page 166, the next word, a little bit interesting how we spell it. It's the word science. What's the word? Beautiful, science. And we all love to pursue the facts of the world and nature and science. And interestingly enough, this will explain the spelling after. When I was a kid, I used to say we say science, but we spell it science. For right now, we'll do this. You'll see sky. Ents, all right, but then I'm going to actually tell you why it is the way it is. Science, science. So I want you to underline these 3 times, all right, because it doesn't actually follow the rules, okay? But let's go. Underline the I, the C, and the silent E twice. Job number 3, but don't write it in yet because we have to go in order. The I can say I at the end of a syllable. Great. Rule 4. And soft C, you got it, rule 2. Now, the word science, the reason it's spelled this way is it comes from Latin. Now, the word for knowledge is where science comes from, and it was pronounced scientia. Scientia. Like someone is conscious, omniscient, all-knowing. Sometimes you read that in the older books, even sometimes in the Bible. So science actually comes from Latin scientia, which is why this is spelled this way, because back in Latin, this sort of made a sh sound. Scientia. Okay? Now, someone who loves science and studies it, and it's his or her profession, exactly, is a scientist. Marie Curie was one of the most brilliant scientists of all time. You're going to learn about Louis Pasteur in some of the videos with his breakthroughs and his discoveries in science to cure diseases like Edward Jenner did. Louis Pasteur, and we're going to get into that, okay? Scientist, let's go. Scientist, let's go. Scientist. Don't forget, cross your T, dot your I, cross your T and your I, okay? So, same thing. Not going to make you mark it. Well, let's do it. Underline the I. It is not the same thing. The I can say I at the end of a syllable. That is rule 4. All right, what do we do with these 2 words? Great. Okay, so now the next word is the word interfere. What's the word? Exactly, interfere. And if you remember the other day, we learned the word prohibit, which means to stop, block, or prevent. And that's what the word interfere. Okay? Sometimes people have to interfere when 2 kids are fighting, or 2 adults. They have to block it, they have to stop it, prohibit it, or prevent it. Okay? Interfere. Okay, please don't interfere with my affair. It's not your concern. Interfere. 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 Let's go. Interfere. Interfere. We have 3 things to mark up. Let's go. Exactly. Underline the the E, and the silent E twice. Draw an arrow back. You know that. The rest of that. It's very rare in English that the silent E makes the E say E, but it does happen. Okay? And when you interfere, that's called interference. Okay? Like pass interference in football or basketball when they block a shot, when someone goes to make a basket, interference. Okay? Rents. Okay, so let's go. Rents. And that's important with that 3rd syllable. Okay? So we have 4 things to mark up. Let's go. Underline the the E, the C, and the silent E twice. Job number 3, but, exactly, rule 2, but we have to go in order. The E can say E at the end of a syllable. That is, I'm going to write it up here. It's a lot going on. Rule 4. I have to do it in print. Okay. Okay. Now, notice we dropped the silent E. Interference. Okay, so that is also rule 13. And the E can say E at the end of a syllable. That is rule 4. A lot going on with these. Okay? All right, so what do we do with these two words? Beautiful. Brace. Okay, so the next word is the word delicious. What's the word? Exactly, delicious. When something is tasty and you savor it, it's delicious. And there are lots of other synonyms that you could come up with, but I'm a little strapped for time with this video. And the word delicious is kind of interesting because it has the O-U-S, and you say full of deli? What does that mean? Well, it's not full of deli. It actually comes from the word delicate, which we know it means is something that's easily broken. You have to be careful with it. It means it's sort of rare and special and precious. Well, in the old days when people were poor and they didn't have much money and they couldn't afford too much food, when they were able to eat, let's say, meat one day a week, that was a delicacy for them. And because it was a delicacy, it was a rare treat of food, they considered it to be obviously full of delicacy, so they said it was delicious when they described it as a rare, tasty treat. Delicious. So let's go. Running out. Shus. We use the sh that starts with a short letter, and we use ow, o, oo, okay, so let's go. Delicious. 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 Okay, so we have a few things to mark up. So let's go. Let's keep on talking about interference. Okay, so let's go. Underline the E and the sh. I'm sorry, the E, the sh, and the Think about it. Fourth sound. Excellent. The E can say E at the end of a syllable. You got it. Okay, and the last word is a fascinating one because I always remember this. It's the word jealous. What's the word? We all have those feelings, or we've all known people who were jealous of certain things. They wanted it from us, or they don't like the way someone's spending time with a friend of ours and they get upset about it. Sometimes in relationships between teenagers, they get jealous with each other. Now, what's interesting about the word jealous is that it actually comes from the word zealous, which comes from the word zeal. And you say, J and a Z, what do they have to do with each other? Well, it's interesting because they used to pronounce it as zealous, as jealous. Okay? Sort of a combination of those types of sound. Jealous, which was French for it, all right? Jealous. So, let's go. Jealous. Okay? For the we use E-A. For the we use ow, o, oo, Jealous. Let's go. Jealous. No, it does not mean full of gel. It means full of zeal. And again, energy and enthusiasm, a passion for something like a person or an item or a cause. Jealous. Zealous. Zeal, which we're going to get to at another point. All right, so we have two things to mark up. Let's go. Great. Underline the second sound. And underline the fourth sound. Good job. All right, so let's read these words back. Let's go. Jealous. Jealous. Delicious. Delicious comes from delicate, delicacy. Again, think about that story that I told you. And it's all true. Okay, let's go. Interference. Interference. Interfere. Interfere. Scientist, scientist, science, science. And again, shensha. All right, the way I remembered it is science as I was a kid. Okay, even though soft C went followed by Y, I, or E, but it did help me understand it. Okay, good luck.